Investors seem a little concerned about banks and brokers' trading volumes. How do you see that affecting the sector over the medium term?
Well, it's some interesting commentary has come out recently, at least from the larger banks. At the recent conference that Barclays had, where they hosted a bunch of the large bank CEOs, many of them alluded to the fact that their revenues in the FICC division, fixed income credit currencies, are looking down double digits, depending on the bank, 10, 15, 20, maybe even more. Yet somehow the bank stocks have been rallying along with the market throughout this period. So realistically, there was a little bit of a dip. It looked for a moment a couple of weeks ago like the XLF could break through its 200-day moving average, but it bounced right off it in the, let's say, the high 23 range, and here we are trading up, let's say, up to and through 25. I find that somewhat concerning, and I find it an interesting tell that some of the more purely focused brokers are not really selling off on that either. I'm certainly not going to comment too closely on brokerage firms as I work for one. But what I will say is I find that at least for the larger banks who are more dependent upon their fixed income and currency trading, that shortfall is a bit troublesome. And I know that analysts tend to discount that. But if you throw in the fact that you've got lower trading revenues and a yield curve that's flat as a pancake. Yes, the 10-year has bounced sort of off the 2% level, but we're still talking a very, very tight spread between 2s and 10s, let's say, where the banks are the sweet spot of the bank's profitability. I find it hard to believe that there's a lot more to go on. I think what's happening now is the banks are trading on hopes of some sort of reform or eased regulatory climate. And so if you're going to be investing in banks, what that tells me is you've got to be very comfortable with the idea of looking at them as a trump trade, not necessarily as a fundamental valuation on their business.